Yes, I'm drooling all over myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome, everybody, to the Homewrecker podcast. I am your host, the trophy wife Monique, and joined with me is my husband, the Alex Arion.
Yeah.
How is that?
Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good. Yeah. So I was sipping some water and drooled all over myself as we started recording. Good for me.
All I hear is, I hear, like, what?
Good for me.
Yeah. Drink much, honey?
Not often.
Oh.
Not often enough,
Got a
apparently.
hole in your bottom lip, maybe?
Yeah. You know what it is? It's this beard. It like sometimes if I like if like one drop of water like comes out of my lip and gets caught on my beard or my mustache, it's like almost like a tributary opens up on my face, and then it just kind of like water just kind of goes there, and it becomes like I have a Mississippi River on my face just going down my beard and everything. Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway,
before we get into that.
So yeah, hello everybody.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic as always.
You're just ready to jump right in, but
oh no. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was just
preparing.
I was preparing. I was just putting things where they need to be so I can access them easy and everything. I got discombobulated from the water. I'm sorry. Gosh.
Say no more. So I see, says the blind man as he picks up his hammer and saw.
Right. Yes. So how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
You already asked me. I said fantastic as always.
Good. I just want to make sure I'm checking in with you. That's all.
Wow. Thank you so much.
I do want to plug a few things.
Get the plug in. Yeah,
yes.
Get the plug in going.
Put my plugs in. So last week, my friend Carlene was our special guest.
That was a fun show, by the way.
That was so fun. I love speaking with her. Yeah. I love her. And so we mentioned it last week, but putting it out there again, and I'll do it up until we get to the event. But Tuesday, September 14th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, Carlene and I will be hosting our monthly mystical meetups. This is free. So this for the month of September, we're going to be talking about general hypnotherapy. We're going to have some fun historical facts. We're going to talk about why hypnotherapy is used, give more information about it. We're going to share some personal stories, and we're also going to answer questions that anyone might have. So the space is limited. You can sign up through Eventbrite, and you can sign up by getting a link on my Twitter, on Homewrecker Pod Twitter, on the show notes, YouTube, Brighteon, wherever it is, we'll have those links available.
There you go.
Yeah, so sign up because it will be fun.
Very cool.
Yes. And just throwing out there, if it's just any interest at all in hypnotherapy, whether you're interested in having hypnotherapy done for yourself, or just curious, or maybe you're interested in a career in hypnotherapy, this is a really good place to just find out more information. And we want to be judgment free. So different people have different beliefs. Doesn't matter. We're
like
just
a Planet Fitness.
Oh God,
judgment-free zone?
No, I mean, like,
sorry,
I hate Planet Fitness. No, I mean, like, different people have different religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, and that stuff doesn't really matter. But like, if you're an a-hole, you're going to get kicked out. So no inappropriate behavior is accepted or tolerated, but it's just, people have different backgrounds. So we're open to all of that because we're just talking about hypnotherapy and mystical and metaphysical aspects of it as well. So if that strikes your fancy, join us.
Cool.
Yes, you can also find me on Twitter at _Monique Giselle _ and my Understandings Hypnosis Twitter account. Please follow me. It is at Monique PCHT. And then you can go to my website, tarotbymonique.com, for organite and tarot readings, incense, candles, all the fun stuff that I make. And you can go to innerstandingshypnosis.com if you're interested in scheduling a hypnotherapy appointment or past life regression. I almost said aggression.
Past life aggression. Whoa.
Well, some people get aggressive in their past life,
Ooh.
but you know,
Mhm.
but yeah, so past life regression, and I feel like I'm missing something.
Tarot by Monique.
I did that.
You did.
I did. I'll all be in the show notes.
All right.
Yeah. And how about you, my love? How can people find you?
You can't.
And that's the way you like it.
And that's the way I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, you can check the show notes for all of my stuff.
And you can find us, Homewrecker Podcast, on Twitter and Twitter only at Homewrecker Pod.
And our website is
homewreckerpodcast.com.
There you go.
And find us on YouTube and Brighteon if you want to be a watcher.
There you have it.
Otherwise, if you want to be a hearer,
If you want to watch Alex drool over himself,
Yeah.
and drinks his water, make a mess of everything.
pretty much.
Yeah. Fantastic.
But if you want to watch YouTube Brighteon, please subscribe, like our videos. And if you're listening anywhere you can subscribe, please do. And if you can give us a 5-star review or whatever they like to do to show us how much you like us and enjoy listening, we would have greatly appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Very well said.
Thank you.
There you have it. All right. Now, is there anything else going on you want to talk about before we get into the show, like into the meat of the show?
No, let's.
No, you should get ready.
Yeah, because
Okay.
this is interesting. Should I begin about how this came about?
Yeah, you go ahead and speak about what we're going to talk about, and yeah, and we'll go from there.
I'm going to
Please.
speak about what I'm going to talk about. Yes.
Speak about what you're going to talk about.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, do that.
So, was it a couple of weeks ago? I got an email from YouTube that somebody commented on one of our videos. And when I opened the email, it was a really, 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 really long message. And I'm like, what? And I had to it was like, wow, we need to share this. So I copied it because I was like, I could see this going away, like disappearing. And interestingly enough, we mentioned a while back, people will make a comment on our YouTube videos and we'll get an email and it'll say there's a comment there, but nobody can read it. It's not visible for some reason. This happened to this message.
Oh, the same thing happened to this?
Yeah, remember you went to go look for it?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're. Yeah.
So they commented on one of our missing 411 videos. I think it was the Devils in the Details.
Yeah, I believe that's the one. And you told me about it, and I said, "Oh, you said go check out the comment." I'm like, "Okay." So I went on I think I went on my phone, and I went to the video, and I saw one comment, but I couldn't read it. It wouldn't show up. So it was doing that thing that we talked about happening before. Yes, you're right. I remember now. And you had thankfully saved it and printed it out because this is a good one. This is yeah.
We're just going to read this message that we received. We're not going to comment. We're just going to read it straight through. It's kind of long.
Yes. So I'm going to be reading for anybody watching. Apologies. I'm not going to be looking at the camera or anything. I'm going to be looking down and reading.
And then we're going to have a conversation.
And then we'll dissect and talk
Yes.
about our thoughts. But this is hold on to your hats.
Yeah.
This
I
one-
had a lot of thoughts reading this. I was like processing, and
I have only read this once.
as have I.
That's it. So this is gonna be the second time I read it. I'm gonna do my best with pronunciations because there are some words here that are very long, names and things like that. So I'm gonna do the very best I can. And I may pause here and there for a little bit of a water or iced tea drink because it's a lot. So without any further ado, any final thoughts before I begin?
All I'm saying is I'm curious if going through it a second time, if my thoughts that came in my head the first time, if they maybe will be different hearing and reading it again.
Okay. Well, let's check it out. Here we go. So again, this was a message left on YouTube under one of our videos. It is titled Semjase.
Semjays?
Semjas.
I think Semjays from Ara.
SEMJASE is the spelling. I'm going to say Semjas.
Some J's, I
Some
think.
Jace.
I think it's some J's. I could
Okay.
be
See,
wrong.
look,
I don't know.
we're already
It rolls off the tongue better.
first word, and I'm already messing up. Okay. So Sem Jace from Era.
ERRA.
ERRA. Greetings from Sem Jace from Era. Missing 411 phenomenon solved. All these mysterious, disappeared into thin air, seemingly unexplainable missing persons, missing 411, David Politis cases come down to this. The answer is a simple up one. These disappearances can be chalked up to one culprit. Joktamo Abgrit Ivaw.
Why don't you spell that for everyone?
JOUGKTAMOABGRTEVVAW. And in parentheses here, the way it's supposed to be pronounced is phonetically spelled out. That's where I got the pronunciation from. And I don't even know if I did that correctly.
So if you sent this message, thanks for doing that.
These translucent or cloaked, no more talking. These translucent or cloaked beings are responsible for all the missing 411 cases, the smiley face killer cases, the Manchester, UK canal deaths, Elisa Lamb, Stacey Aris, Naya Rivera, Dennis Martin, Sheena Morris, Cullen Finnerty, and countless others. All these deaths and millions upon millions of others are the result of a global depopulation program, U.S. government endorsed. The U.S. government, as well as the other world governments, don't only know about them, but work hand in hand with them in reducing the number of humans on planet Earth. By the way, I am not a Christian, religious nut, or born again type, but they are all victims of the same entities led by Satan. Yep, these cloaked demons, jinns, Bigfoot, dogmen, are master chameleons and disguise themselves in the surrounding environment using nanotechnology to disguise or camouflage inside trees, rocks, vegetation, clouds, and etc. I'm told these Satan-controlled extraterrestrial beings or demons come from 922,000 years in the future. Satan and God are one in the same. God, a concept, not being, created everything in the universe. But the catch is that God is a form, if the one of the one and only Satan. Hence, through her creationism, she is organically in everything or ubiquitous in life and its many diverse environments. Yep, these technologically advanced time-traveling beings, though quite socially challenged, are known as Joktamoabgritivau, Lucifer and her murderous demons. Yes, the devil is a she-devil. Satan, who is a black jinn known as Maymum Baal Beelzebub or Shaitan, and she is in the one in charge. This is how it's written. Wikipedia under Satan even mentions this Satan as being a black jinn. It may sound strange, but she has a left foot fetish and loves messing with it incessantly, and her special day of the week is Saturday. 100% fact. Now, they have been tormenting me for 15 months now. It may sound crazy and or silly, but please believe me, for I've seen her evil, black-horned, goat-headed caricature with my own eyes. I was a 5th grade teacher for 20 years, and I served in the United States Air Force and was honorably discharged at the rank of sergeant. No craziness or mental illness here. Nope. So her sinister force of demons intrudes on poor human lives and subjects them to her stupid little game called a contact order. The survival rate is ostensibly low, with most of these unfortunate souls ending up in her earthly hell known as Joktamo Abgrita Ivau, physical namesake location under icy Antarctica. They are portaled not only from national parks, but from cities and other urban environments as well. Elisa Lamb in LA, William Hurley in Boston, Sheena Morris in Florida, etc. They are then ruthlessly bound, gagged, tortured, and then ritually killed. On the rarest occasions, some are actually returned for a last chance to play their life or death game. These instances account for the occasional lost hiker who somehow miraculously survives for a whole week in the wilderness barrens. The majority of the bodies are returned by them via portaling or wormholes, though some of the victims are tortured so ruthlessly that Joktamo Abgritevau doesn't return the bodies. That's why some of the victims' bodies are never found. Yep, they've actually communicated this fact to me, as well as Elisa Lam being portaled back into an unreachable water tank on top of the Cecil Hotel. They made numerous errors in the Lamb case. By the way, there was a witness in the Lamb case who saw her disappear from the hotel hallway. That witness was threatened with immediate death and paid off to remain quiet. Yep, they also made a huge mistake in the Florida disappearance of Sheena Morris. The sand gravel that was found on her feet was from the torture dungeon. Yep, duh. They forgot to clean her feet before she was portaled back into her shower. She also had chair marks on her back that were unexplainable because she was never sitting in the chair, for she was found dead in the shower. Joktamo Abgritivau, I'm getting good at that, must have sat her down in the chair at some point. So, long story short, Sheena's mother knows that there is a cover-up involving the police and others. She has figured out that there's an underlying evil that pervades society, especially in America. Check her YouTube interviews. Remember, the world's political leaders, federal law enforcement agents, the UN, and most people, 95% are soulless, as in SOUL-LESS. Satan manifested time travelers from the future. Know about these demons and how they blatantly exploit humans and the entire world we live in. They simply ignore the missing 411 cases and Satan's ungodly influence. It truly is a Luciferian agenda being perpetrated on humanity. Folks, this is without a doubt the biggest cover up in the history of the universe. 100% true. David Politis, whom I greatly admire, says that the missing 411 culprits are perfect, but he is somewhat mistaken. By their own admission, Joktamo Abgritevau even admits to me personally that they've made numerous mistakes during their sinister depopulation human portaling campaign. Please check out the Sheena Morris, Elisa Lam, Stacey Aris, Dennis Martin, and the many, many other cases on YouTube. So, she, devil, evil, Satan, drinks from her golden chalice, which is filled with human blood as yet another soul is collected. Some of the more famous headline cases are Elisa Lam, Cecil Hotel in LA Mystery. Stacey Aris, teenager, disappears in Yosemite horseback riding in 85. Dennis Martin, kid disappeared playing hide and go seek in the Great Smoky Mountains. Cullen Finnerty, college star, quarterback in Michigan. And Naya Rivera, a Glee TV star who oddly drowns while boating in Southern California. They also killed Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain, Dana Reeves, Superman star Christopher Reeves' wife, Jimi Hendrix, David Carradine, Jim Morrison, and Tom Petty, among so many, many others. Each survivor, only 15% or so survive, of her evil game that Satan plays with humans has a personal agreement attached to it. If the person plays the game well enough and deserves to live, so some of these unfortunate souls die of cancer, heart attacks, car accidents, drug overdoses, and other unexplainable means of death because he or she broke the personal agreement put in place. That's why some humans die years later. By the way, they have killed many of my friends, ex-girlfriends, and even my aunt. Satan doesn't care, for she is all about killing humans to make room for her ugly, time-traveling demons coming back from the distant future. Again, they are wearing blue, purple, green, and pink as a tribute to me, Semjaza. Oh, sorry, it's right here. Semjaza. Thank you all for your love and support. Semjaza loves you all. Joktamo Abgritevau is incomprehensibly vile and utterly evil beyond all belief. Furthermore, these soulless time-traveling entities from the future, which make up roughly 95% of the people walking around you on a daily basis, come from the future and live in the now and have a very different demonic future self. They are Jukta, and blue avians, 8-foot tall, futuristic space bird types. Remember, they live as humans in the present time and resemble humans. They live in various human forms, working as CIA and FBI agents, teachers, doctors, retail clerks, landscapers, lawyers, politicians, and etc. Many of them resemble in human form scarecrows wearing orange colored attire and floppy farmer hats. Look around you, folks, but thanks to my future self as Semjaza, they have discarded the harvest orange for blue, purple, and green. Yes, beautiful people, Semjaza gives you her eternal love for your undying love and support. Please, folks, don't be fooled. They are all female and are also known as the
Pleiadians.
Pleiadians, thank you, Greys, AI androids, Ashtar Command, the Mantis, Reptilians, Sasquatch or Bigfoot, various cryptids, all aliens, extraterrestrials, dogmen, tall whites, and etc. Interestingly, they are also the men in black who intimidate and threaten UFO extraterrestrial paranormal witnesses. Yep, all these demons are led by none other than evil Satan herself. They are Satan's army band who spread their sinister, wicked business upon humanity. Yuck. Again, my name is Semjaza, and this is the pure 100% undiluted truth. My human or current name is, I'm not going to say it. I'll just leave that out. And I am the present embodiment of the future ruler, Empress of the universe, Semjaza Srut, S-R-U-T. Please believe me, for this is the dire truth of everyday reality. Also, FYI, the sun explodes on September 11th, 2031, and everything in this physical reality is instantly incinerated. We have been blatantly lied to by NASA and their paid-off astrophysicist tools. The sun is not at its half-life. Humanity in our physical world is nearing the end, and we have only 10 years left. So, enjoy your family, friends, and be sure to live with undiluted love in your heart. It's entirely true, I'm afraid to say. Love, Semjaza. Okay.
So there's that.
Yep.
Do you want to share our own thoughts, or do you want to kind of dissect it a bit? How do you want to do that?
I want to take a drink. Hold
Okay.
on a moment.
I think we all need to take a drink or something after that.
So, first off, I have so many thoughts going through my head. Now, when I first read this, because it was on the Missing 411 show that we did, it starts off talking about the Missing 411 phenomenon solved, and it's in all caps, Missing 411 phenomenon solved. So I'm thinking, okay, cool, great. Oh, and the other thing is these hearts were also at the top of the message. You can't see it, obviously, if you're listening, but there was these hearts that came along with the message that were inserted in there. So I thought that was kind of interesting, a blue and purple heart that were there. So right away, I'm like, oh, somebody's got a theory. Cool. Because we always like hearing those different type of theories and things like that. And then it gets into like, what? And the fact that it mentioned the smiley face killer cases, the Manchester UK canal deaths, which I'm not familiar with.
But what have we talked about in the past? We've talked about Elisa Lam. We talked about smiley face killer. We didn't do a show, but we brought up some Missing 411 about it.
Yes. So yeah, exactly. So these things we've either done shows on or mentioned in some way. So I thought that was interesting. Like right away, oh wow, okay, these are all things that I mean have come into our universe, so to speak. We're aware of them, or we've talked about them. So I thought right off the bat, okay, this is cool, this is interesting. And then it says that it's chalked up to one culprit, and it's this long word, the Jokta Moab Gritavau. And again, I don't know if I'm even saying that right. I mean, right away, I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, what's that? And then it goes into, it's it's a global depopulation program. Okay. I mean, there's so many. I mean, there's especially with the current events of the world, and there, the Georgia Guidestones. I mean, interviews with all these various elites of the world and everything, talking about all these eugenicists and all these different things. Depopulation is a thing. I mean, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's a thing. It's obviously something that's an agenda. To what end, to what extent it will be accomplished, nobody knows. But I'm like, okay, it's almost like every conspiracy theory rolled into one is kind of reading through it again the second time just now. That's what I thought. Like it's like they've condensed everything into one explanation,
Which is clever.
which is convenient.
Yeah.
It's very convenient. And I'm not gonna say that this is completely crazy, because who knows for sure about anything at all anyway, right? But it's definitely something that it gets the wheels turning. And I wonder if that's by design, if that's what it's designed to do. If this is somebody that it's hard to say. Is this just a troll? Is this like an internet troll or something? I don't know.
Is it somebody just trying to get attention? For me, when I was reading it and I'm like, huh. And then I'd be like, but
right. Yeah, there's parts
back and forth, like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, or I don't think so. Well, yeah, okay. I don't think so. So it was just like all these things like juggling back and forth.
Exactly.
Like that was kind of how it felt reading that. There were things that stood out to me. So and there were things that kind of gave me a red flag, because I try to be really open-minded. I didn't look at it like, okay, we got some crazy message from somebody. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is.
I won't ever discount anything like that. I always like to
I want to take it in.
Yeah, I say entertain, and I guess I like to take everything in, and I like to use my discernment and my common sense, my logic, my critical thinking skills, and I try to think about things. So I won't discount it as somebody crazy or anything, because I mean, look, these disappearances and things, they happen. That's a thing. It's a legit thing. It's not like a made up thing.
So like part of me was like, you had me until you said Bigfoot was a demon. And that's just me, because I'm like, it's Bigfoot.
Yeah, but that's
How
you,
could
and
you
that's
say that about Bigfoot. I'm talking about my mind.
Right. Yeah, but that's you like, loving the movie Harry and the Hendersons, and that's your internal programming.
But then I said, okay, well, let's stop. Let's not judge. Let's say, okay, let's go along with this, with what they're saying, and move forward. But I just thought it was funny that the first thing I'm going along like, okay. Oh, wait a minute. You're saying Bigfoot's bad. What? So I'm just sharing the silliness of my mind. That's all.
Okay. Well, I mean, and I think that's the thing. I mean, obviously, the older you get, the more you try to discern things and take things apart and kind of see it for what it is. The more you recognize those kind of things that happen in your brain, like you just mentioned, like that, like you noticed that trigger in your head that made you go, wait a minute.
That was my mental response. And then I was like, okay, let's stop.
Right.
Let's not, stop paying attention and stop trying to take it in because of that. Let's move forward. So I caught myself the moment after, like I had my moment, and then I was like, okay, enough.
Yeah, and that's great. That's great. I mean, I think that's a good thing to do, to be able to kind of keep your beliefs and things in check, because we all have them, whether we like to admit it or not. We all do. So keeping an open mind, especially when you're presented with something like this,
it's heavy.
It's it's pretty heavy if any of it is true. Now, it mentioned a lot of the cases. I believe the Stacey Aris, Dennis Martin. I believe those are missing 411 cases. I believe those are in the books. I remember those names. I recognize those names. I don't believe we've talked about them on any of our shows, but I do recognize those names from the books. I'm not familiar with Naya Rivera. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the UK canal deaths. We did a show on the Elisa Lamb. I think that whole thing was just made up. Personally, we took that apart with Human Vibration and Rambo.
Yes, we did.
Uh, and we had our theories on why that was done, what that was about. So go back and listen to that show if you haven't. So I don't know. I mean,
I want to go through a few things.
yeah,
if
you want
you're
we
okay. Like, I
absolutely we
want
can
to
pick it
kind of
apart.
yeah, I wanted to
Because
point out a few things. So this person talks about it's the government, but then saying it's Satan. So the way I took it in was basically like these demons, these people, they're working with Satan. You know, basically the government works for Satan. That's the only way I could like, because it's almost like we're talking about the government and
it's
then
believable.
it's Satan.
I mean,
So it's all about Satan. And so it was like, okay, so are you
well,
I'm telling you how it's reading to me, how
okay,
I'm taking it in.
sure, okay.
So the way I took it was they must be saying that the US government, as well as other world governments, because they work hand in hand with them. So like doing this stuff, doing the decreasing, and then they go talking about Satan, decreasing the population, they talk about Satan. So I'm assuming they work with Satan, and that's what they're doing.
What I thought was interesting is that this is a depopulation program. I think it's on one of the other pages, and says that Satan, who is female apparently, is making room for her demons from the future to come back here. But I thought if in 10 years, the way this message ends, if in 10 years the sun explodes and everything's incinerated, what are you
going to do? I mean, maybe they live on an incinerated earth.
How does that work? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, how does that work? Like, I'm there's a lot of like just, and I don't know if it's just because of the way it was written or what. I read this as it was written, so all the yeps, the duh, all the stuff that was written in the message.
Yeah.
So
another
I don't know.
Flag for me was basically where this person writing said that they were.
What do you mean flag?
The red flag for me with this email. I'm telling you, like,
okay.
the things that stuck out as like a red flag.
Okay.
And I'm trying to find it so I can quote it. Do you know where it is? Where basically the writer talks about, again, my name is Simjasa. I am the present embodiment of the future ruler, empress of the universe. Simjasa Srut. Thank you. So you're saying that you are the present embodiment of this person. Part of me kind of is like, okay, I can play along with that idea. But the other part of me is anytime somebody says there's some kind of God or savior, that's a red flag for me.
This person didn't say they were a savior.
But
said they were the embodiment.
The embodiment. And then they say
they're the emperor or what was it?
Yeah.
The empress of the universe. Future ruler, empress of the universe.
Yeah, future.
Doesn't say anything about
it was
being
like there was a part.
No, I don't see it.
There was a part where it said like
there's nothing saying they're a savior, just saying that is the present embodiment of the future ruler, empress of the universe, Semjaza Srut.
Yeah, but I'm trying to find it because there was a part where
Semjaza loves you all.
Nope. Yeah. Thank you for all your love and support. Semjaza loves you all. Maybe I thought it was something about like giving your love, gives you her turn. Yes, beautiful people, quote unquote. Semjaza gives you her eternal love for your undying love and support.
Okay, how's that saying that that's the savior? I don't know what you're talking
about. That's what it comes off to me as. And what it felt like was like reading like religious text about like God and Jesus and like, you know, give me your undying love and support and I will love you. Like that's the vibe I got from it. I'm just telling you what I felt from it and the way I felt and the way my mind went. So I'm just sharing like the kind of flags that popped up while reading it. Now there's other stuff, and I think we might have to do a part 2 on this, because if you look up Semjaza from Era, on the internet. There's a whole lot of stuff on it, and there's a lot of information.
This message when you showed it to me last week. This is the first time I've ever even heard of this.
Some of the stuff they're talking about, like,
I mean,
I've heard of
all the
before.
stuff in the message I've heard of before, but I've never heard of Semjasa from Era. I've never heard that of that entity or whatever it's supposed to be, and I've never heard of Joktamo Abgritivow.
I haven't heard of them. I've heard of some of the other things mentioned. Some Jazza sounds familiar. I feel like I've come across it before, but when I looked it up, I was like, oh yeah, this seems familiar. So it's come across my path. I never just really dived into it. So we're going to have to do a part 2 and do a little more research about this, because it's just interesting, because the quick thing that I read was talking about she was I guess essentially an extraterrestrial, that her name means half, what was it, half goddess. And so
you're asking me, I don't know.
And so
you were reading it. I didn't read that.
So it means like half goddess or something.
Okay.
And she like went to other planets to help them and like came to the earth. But only for a certain period of time and only in a certain area. So I want to do more research on this before I can speak a ton, but we just wanted to talk about this message and kind of share our thoughts. Was there anything you wanted to dissect about it that stood out to you, whether you got a bad feeling or you thought was weird or red flag, or that you agreed with or liked?
I thought it was interesting that the person mentioned their military service, because I feel like a lot of these things, I noticed that a lot of like alien abductee cases, it seems like a lot of them have military backgrounds, a lot of or some type of government involvement in their history. And it always makes me wonder when I hear this kind of stuff, is this like some kind of MK Ultra type programming that this person went through, and they're just like kind of like maybe breaking from it, or they're doing what they're programmed to do and putting out like, this type of information.
But the other thing is, it could just be somebody saying that because they just want to see like how much they can get people to pay attention to what they're putting out there.
It could be.
Yeah.
You asked me my thoughts on giving them. That is what I always think, is they're always, it's always something. It's like the Phil Schneider case, for example, the guy that says he was attacked by aliens in I think it was Dulce, New Mexico, in the underground base. We watched a documentary on it. That's another guy, former military, part of a secret program, all these type of things that come out. And it's like, I always look at those and I find the stories, and again, they're stories. I find them very fascinating, but I always think to myself, if this were real, do you really think that these people would be allowed to just go out and tell their story and to get it out there and do conventions and sell videos and all this kind of stuff? You don't. What?
No, just something else that you said too, not just the MK Ultra, but with some of the documentaries, how these people were fooled by the government.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's not just like MK Ultra, but just kind of being deceived.
Right. Like that's the thing. And then, the human psyche, I mean, you're doing hypnotherapy now. It's very fragile. It's not that difficult to fracture somebody's psyche. It's not difficult to implant memories into their brains. I mean, the subconscious, I mean, I've read books on the subconscious. I've got so many books on that and on the way the mind works and things. That's always fascinated me. It's not something that would be difficult to do, to implant these type of thoughts into somebody's head. Look at everybody now. What are we all ready for? We're ready for a fucking alien invasion that's supposedly going to happen sometime soon. If it happens, we are so desensitized from years and years of television and movies and everything else.
Day.
We're so deprogrammed that it's like
they've prepared us for this.
It's like they said, oh yeah, there's aliens, and everybody's like, yeah, no shit, there is. Like I mean, you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Like,
here we are, like, I don't know if we believe you. How we can't believe that now. Maybe there aren't, because you're saying there are.
Right. Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's like I look at I get these things, and again, the person put their name here. I don't know if
Mhm.
that's their real name or what. Like I said, I'm not going to read it. Just I'm not going to give their name. Uh, but it just makes me wonder, like, what's the motivation for finding our show and writing this super long message? Like, what was the goal here? Was it just to get the word out about Semjaza, who apparently is a thing that, again, I now know about it, but I didn't know. I don't know much about it. Just what I've read here, and the couple of sentences you told me. Is it to try to get the word out about that more or something? I don't know. I
About the end
mean,
of the world in 10 years.
is it? Yeah. Which
And
you get this super long message and all this disturbing information, uh,
and Satan has a
and
foot
then
fetish. Left
yeah,
foot.
that was the other thing that I thought was kind of interesting. Like, is that like
Watch
it's
that be like
it's
something that's totally true because it's
it's
so random.
it's toss that's the thing, the way this is written. It's like it's written in such a way that there's these little details that make you go, why is that in there? Like, what? So it's almost like this is like classic disinformation and misinformation almost put
Mhm.
out. Like, that's why I'm like, is this like a government, like a spook or something that's just like trying to fuck with us? You know what I mean? Like, I
And
don't know.
but it's like putting truth in there, but like for telling a bigger lie. We have been blatantly lied to by NASA and their paid off astrophysicist tools. So it's like, yes, we have been lied to by
Well, no shit,
NASA.
but
But
that's
it's
like,
like so is it put some truth out there that people can say, like, yeah, that is true. And oh yeah, that does make sense to get people to believe the whole
well,
thing.
that's what I'm saying. Like, is this person? I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna say the name, but is this person? Is this? They say they served in the Air Force and was honorably discharged at the rank of sergeant. That's pretty good rank, right? Honorably discharged. So that usually that's what, usually an injury of some sort. Is that usually why you get honorably discharged,
Your time is done.
or your time is okay? So I don't know. Again, anytime I see this, that was the first thing when I finished the message. I first thought that was interesting, and then I thought, is this like a government, like, did we make it on some radar, some list, and now they're watching us and seeing what we talk about? So here, let's give them
We're talking
something.
about you.
Let's give them something, to like fuck with them or whatever. Yeah, that was my first thought. But again, I'm not paranoid, but I try to.
We're just open to all
I try, yeah.
possibilities.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. So that was my first thought, was this is like some government agent or something that's just trying to fuck with us and,
Good
and
for
give us
them if
this.
that's the case.
Yeah. And I thought immediately, we got to do this. We got to read this message on the show and talk about it because it's just too good. Like, if, I mean, let's just say, hypothetically, let's just say everything in this is true. Let's just say it's true. All of it. Wow. Okay. How the fuck do they know? Is my first thing. Is like, how would they know that that's what this is?
So I do want to throw something in here. So doing hypnotherapy, and we talked about it last week with Carlene, you can do a past life regression. You can also do a future life. You can go into a future life. You can talk to your higher self. You can talk to your guides. So if this person is the future embodiment of this Samjaza, I guess you could say, since time is not linear and everything's happening at once, yes, that could be possible. But I don't know, because from what it sounds like, this being has been here for so long. The little bit I know about Samjaza, she's been here for so long that how can somebody here now be the future of somebody that's already existing? So it's not like
I don't
there's
know.
somebody that we don't know about who arrives in the future. It's somebody who allegedly was here in the past. So I don't know. So that kind of confuses me. So I'm
You
open to
just
be like,
confused me explaining that. So
yeah, I'm open to the fact, like, meeting like a future self that you become and finding that being. I'm totally open to that thought, but just who this person is saying he is in the future, that's why, because of who they are, and they've allegedly been around way longer than, I don't know. I
So
just,
let's just say this is all true.
okay.
Hypothetically, back to that. What are your thoughts? Hypothetically, looking at it through the lens of this is all true, because I mean, I wish we could like somehow figure out a way to post this so that the listeners could actually read it for themselves.
I
But
can try to do something.
everything is covered, like just about every single possible. I mean, they even have the celebrity deaths in here. Everything's covered.
I mean, at the end of the day, you could say it has a good message of just be good and kind and love one another. So
Well,
if you're going to take anything from it, that and the sun is going to basically die.
The sun explodes.
It explodes and we get incinerated in 10 years.
What?
So aside from that, just love each other. I think that's a great message to take from it.
That was the other part of it that again, it's also FYI, and this is the very last paragraph of the message. The sun explodes on September 11, 2031, and everything in this physical reality world is instantly incinerated. We've been blatantly lied to by NASA and their paid-off astrophysicist tools. The sun is not at its half-life. Humanity and our physical world is nearing the end, and we have only 10 years left. So enjoy your family, friends, and be sure to live with undiluted love in your heart. It's entirely true, I'm afraid to say. Love, Simjaza. Like just the way
you're going to die in a decade, but hey,
here's all this information.
We love you.
I'm telling you that all of it is Satan, but I am
Satan and her demons are going to kill you.
But don't worry.
But don't worry, you're going to die in 10 years
anyway.
If
they don't get to you or your family and friends, the sun's going to explode in 10 years. So you're
dead anyway.
So don't even worry about
Hopefully it'll be quick.
So
there's that.
There you have it. Yeah. So now my rational brain, my logical brain, my skeptical brain is saying that this is just somebody having some fun. Be that a government agent. I hope you're enjoying yourself. You've just got us to talk about you for 40 minutes.
Ooh, a troll, perhaps.
40 plus minutes. You've given us content. So thank you so much for that. You've given us something to talk about, something to think about. And that's great.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
Appreciate it. But that's my thought. That's my thoughts.
And if this is a person who truly believes that,
I'm not going to knock anybody for their personal beliefs.
I just wanted to make sure that we got that out there.
Yeah,
it's like
no,
if this
sure.
is what you're truly experiencing, then oh hey, that's a lot of information to process. There are things that give me my doubts about what you say. I'm going to be honest. But there's a lot of other information. It's like, okay.
Right. Again, and that's why, I mean, like I try to be respectful of all people, all their beliefs and everything. And I mean, I knew growing up when I worked at the grocery store, I was a teenager. There was a guy that used to come in all the time, and I don't know his last name, but his name was Alfred. And he would always come in and talk about the aliens and UFOs and how they were coming and they were going to get him. Like you could tell this person had some stuff going on. Like there was a mental health issue there with this particular person. And, you know, being teenagers, my buddies and I at work, we'd always entertain, and I was always into that stuff. So I would always talk to him and ask him questions, of course, because I was always into that. So I would always be like egging him on, like, yeah, Alfred, when are they coming? When are they beaming you up? And just mostly to get a rise out of my buddies, but also because I was curious about what he was saying, but I knew he's not all there. There's something going on there, unfortunately. So I think about that, and I think about Alfred, and then that was kind of what popped into my head with this was, is this like another Alfred? Is that what this is? But the person says, I was a fifth grade teacher for 20 years and served in the U.S. Air Force and was, I was a sergeant and all that. So, but says no craziness or mental illness here. Nope.
That's what they all say.
So it's like, okay, like again, trying to cover all the bases, all the conspiracies. I'm not crazy. I was in the military, trying to say that they're a respectable person, comes from a respectable background. I gotta just, sorry, my gut tells me it's not. It's BS. That's just my gut. That's my feeling is this is not true.
Hey, we'll find out in 10 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for the sun part. The other stuff, it's like, I mean, there's so many different thoughts and theories about all that other kind of stuff. So who knows? We took a part of Lisa Lamb.
Mhm.
I've never heard anything about there being some witness that was paid off
Yeah,
to keep quiet. Like I don't know.
well, I
And where
mean,
would that
allegedly we wouldn't know about it because they got
right,
paid off to be quiet.
right. But where would
How did
this
he?
person
Yeah,
get
how
this
did they find
information?
out?
You know what I mean? Like so that's kind of one of those things like, all right, that's a convenient little tidbit that was dropped in there.
Yeah.
And the way it's said, again, if you're just somebody that has no discernment, no critical thinking, no logic, that just believed everything you saw, you could go, oh wow, oh that makes sense. Oh,
There are a lot of people like that out there, though.
uh, that's most of society now, especially now where we've been conditioned to just read headlines and never read full stories. And you know, we get all our information from social media, all our news from Twitter or Facebook or whatever other
Mhm.
things.
TikTok,
Yeah,
is
yeah.
Snapchat still a thing?
I don't know. I've never been on a TikTok. I don't know anything about that either. But that's the thing. If you make a statement now and it's fantastical in any way and it has any kind of relevance with what is going on, or it has any kind of a link to something you may have heard of in the past, something you saw in a movie or TV show, guess what? Now it's like, oh, it's very easy to catch the attention. It's very easy
And
to.
here we are sharing the attention.
Yeah. Well, yeah, of course. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole thing. That's what about you? Do you think this is what do you think this is?
My gut says no. Like I'm open to it. I took it in, but there were just things that made me feel like no. I mean, the Bigfoot thing aside, I was
Oh, I could totally see Bigfoot being a demon. Come on. We've never found one. There's never been a dead one. Why is
true.
that?
Well, we've gone over that in
I
other
know
episodes.
we have.
No, but there were just things that made me the way it made me feel, and it wasn't about like my beliefs or anything. It was like the gut feeling inside, like things that were written that just I think were supposed to come off good, but didn't make me feel good. And it was like I don't know. I felt like there were too many red flags for me. That's all. So I look at it like whoever wrote this, I thank you. I thank you for bringing this to us. And it's definitely very interesting. And hey, maybe for like episode 1206, we'll find out if the sun exploded.
Wow. You know what I'm doing right now?
What are you doing?
I'm pulling up the Gematrinator, the Gematria calculator, and I'm going to put in this name, J-O, the joke Moab Greet Evao. I'm going to put the name in. I'm just curious.
And this is like how crazy my mind goes. I'm like, what if the whole point was to get us to talk about it and say that name out loud? And by saying that name out loud, we invoke something.
Like Candyman.
Yeah.
Say it 5 times or something.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be something?
Because that's just like, I'm like, we just opened Pandora's box.
We unwittingly opened up a portal or something. but you know what?
See.
But by talking about it, we've just taken away all its power.
That we did.
So I get all 9s.
Interesting.
I'm going to type in joke tamo abgritivo Satan. Nothing too crazy. No, what was that date? It was September 11, 2031. 2031. Right? September 11.
2006.
Nothing really crazy there. Sun explodes. Let's type that in. No crazy gematria number. Nothing crazy there. So yeah, I thought of it. Oh, maybe let's toss that in.
Doesn't hurt to take a look.
Yeah, but no, nothing crazy there.
Well, I'm curious what other people think about this. We've shared our thoughts. I want to know what everyone else thinks.
Now we're gonna have people like writing these super long messages on our comments just so we can read them on.
That's not going to happen unless it's like really interesting.
It's got to be really good.
Really good.
So submit all your best fiction,
Yes.
please.
Yeah, send it to us.
And you'll get a attaboy, thumbs up, and we'll read it. We'll read it on the air.
Did you see me doing the thumbs up when you said thumbs up? You're like, we'll do a thumbs up. And as you're saying, like at the same time, I like, yeah, we share a brain, ESP.
It's true.
Listen to, what was it? Wait a minute. What was the ESP episode? Finding Atlantis with ESP.
I believe that was the
Yeah,
one.
listen to that episode. We talk about ESP. But yeah, I wanna know what everyone thinks.
Yeah,
I'm curious.
Share your thoughts with us.
Yes, please.
We already went over where you can find us. And
We
stuff,
did. So thank you. Thank you for joining us and for listening and watching.
Mhm.
And hopefully, hearing and watching. And hopefully
viewing.
sharing your thoughts after.
Stay away from the woods, but apparently it doesn't even matter because
They can get
Joke
you from
Tamo
your shower
Greet to Evow can get you anywhere.
and have a field day with your left foot.
Yeah, that's the weird thing there. The left foot fetish is kind of crazy. Huh. What are you gonna do?
I was just thinking of what you gonna do, brother?
What are you gonna do?
Like in Hulk Hogan.
Well, until next time. On that note, brother, I don't know what to do with this paper. We're gonna get rid of it. Go bye-bye. Toss that away. Yeah, what you just said, we've invoked by saying the name over and over again. We've invoked something. I probably mispronounced that anyway. So
Butchered it so bad.
So,
it's waiting at the portal to come out like, yes, I shall be released. And it's like, what the fuck? That's not how you say my name. Like Beetlejuice.
You said it. And now I want to watch Beetlejuice. All right. So anyway, until next time, thanks for listening and watching.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Golden Greek, Alex Arion, joined as always by my beautiful, lovely, gorgeous, amazing trophy wife, the lovely Monique.
And you've been listening to the Homewrecker podcast.
Jakatuka Mikapow. Okay, I gotta look at it and read it. I can't just say
without the thing. I would say Juktama Bagurtva.
Yes.
Not bad.
That's close.
Yeah.
I'm still recording.
I know.
Okay.
I'm aware.
I'll stop now.
Definitely a mouthful.
That's what she said.
Tremendous.